It's Jonathan, your 2021 Booty League champion, and you're listening to the Booty League podcast.
Yo, welcome back, guys. It's week 2 of the fantasy football week 2 of the Booty League podcast. We're here with my co-host, as always, Chris,
What's
and
up, guys?
last year's champ, Jonathan. What's up, guys?
Yep. What's
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
So
Anything you want to say to the league, Jonathan?
Uh, you guys are a bunch of tacos. Looks like I'm gonna win again. This is how I wear the belt because I don't give a shit about it.
The backwards. I
had to-
like it.
I had to fetch it out of my toilet right before this podcast.
All right.
I saw your sleeper picture today. That's pretty. I forgot about that picture. It's a good one.
Yep.
So just a couple quick questions I had for you, Jonathan. What was your? Did you have any draft strategies coming into the draft, and how did you feel about your draft?
Good. I did a lot of mocks this year. Last year I think my draft was really horrible, but this year I think I prepared really well. I think I could tell a lot of us use the same rankings because I just like the people who I was crossing off, I felt like they were pretty similar, especially James. I think James uses good resources.
Without spilling your sources.
Without spilling my
That's cool.
sources, yeah.
Yep.
I see. Okay.
And I thought everyone drafted well. I felt the only thing I didn't like Michaels, and I felt like he was at a disadvantage doing it at home this year.
I think he would have been more until like it might have been worse if he was with us.
No, I think because he was at home, he wasn't worried about tilting. I think with
Uh,
being in person, he'd be worried about tilting and wouldn't make picks that he believes in. He would make picks that would make sure that people don't make fun of him for the picks.
I see.
You know?
okay.
Because we
I can
did
see
make
it.
fun of him at the
Yeah.
draft.
So it was all from his head this time.
Okay, and look where that got him. So, lowest score of the week, but
And then, how do you feel after week 1 and thoughts on your season so far? Just one weekend.
I feel good about the week. I didn't think Ty would score that much, but I mean it's just 1 week, so I do feel like this year I think everyone drafted a lot better, and I think maybe switching from 10 to 12 made people draft a lot worse last year. If you look at the draft results from last year, it's just horrible picks. But I can't tell if that's just like fantasy football.
it might just be recency bias.
Yeah,
I
just
feel
like-
like I feel like I used the same resources this year, but when I look back at last year's draft, I'm like, what in the world was I
it's like-
thinking?
I'm like, look, exactly. I felt
Yeah.
the same way when I looked at the draft again.
Yeah.
But let's jump into this week's news and waiver wire talk. So 13 transactions yesterday, 7 transactions today. So Elijah Moore, big news, 122 fab to me.
Yeah,
Tim,
we'll get into that after, right?
Tim Patrick to David for 20, KJ Hamler to Michael for 13, Elijah Moore to James for 13, Cardinals D to David for 11, and everything else was had either 2 bids or there's under $10, so they weren't that contested, and it was less than 5% of your fab. So you guys want to know what I thought about Elijah Moore?
Well, let's first do any quick thoughts about any of the other picks.
No, I thought people spent money okay. I was surprised Roundtree only got 1 bid besides mine because Eckler's injured, and I've been hearing that like from fantasy doctors that like hamstring. Well, everyone knows hamstrings are hard to deal with, so I was surprised Roundtree wasn't picked up more. And same with Nick. Oh, go ahead.
The thing is with Eckler, but he played the entire game on Sunday, right? But yeah, I mean it could pop up at any second, but it could be 3 or 4 weeks down the line, and I didn't really want that clogging up my roster.
Yeah.
And Mark Ingram. I think a lot of teams could have used Mark Ingram.
Yeah, that's why I put him in for I thought more people someone bid $2 on Mark Ingram.
I did. I bid $2 on Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
Was it you that got him for 9?
I got him for 9 because I needed a running back, but
Yeah.
I didn't think 9 would get him because a lot of teams. I mean, I don't think certainly 26 carries is his ceiling, but I mean he got a lot of red zone work, which I don't know if you can rely on that from the Texans, but he's like a serviceable running back for a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's definitely game script dependent, right? Who they play? They played Jacksonville, right? So
Yeah.
if you have the lead and you're playing against the Jacksonville's defense didn't look good, so you're gonna get 26 carries and you're gonna be in the lead, and you're gonna have more red zone opportunities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, for a guy with that much, he's certainly better
True,
than a lot of
true.
people's running
Yep,
backs on their bench.
But
yep.
honestly, Tyrod didn't look horrible. I thought he'd be looked a
No.
lot worse.
Yeah. He
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
looked good.
He
So
didn't look
Yeah.
bad. He like was pushing the ball
Yeah.
down the
yeah,
field.
Yeah.
but you never know if that's a like a Jacksonville defense thing too, because they didn't look good. So it is week one, right?
Yeah.
We'll see how it rounds out. I do like the Roundtree pick, but still Jonathan on his A game, still like dropping the handcuffs and moving, AM game to the PM game to the night game to the Monday
Yeah.
game. So I know you had that. Everyone was kind of holding on to the lottery ticket still, and you're just like, I'm just gonna move because if something
Yeah.
happens in this game, I'm gonna hit.
Yeah. They're all the same value. I mean, they're all lottery tickets, so I don't see why you
Yeah,
wouldn't. Not that I want people to start, but there's no reason not to.
gotcha. Who was your AM lottery ticket? And
It was Roundtree. I was actually debating
uh,
between Roundtree
Mitchell.
and Mitchell,
Oh, okay.
but the thing I didn't look
I
at
looked at
was
Mitchell too, and I had
I
Mostert,
know,
and I'm like,
yeah,
that's just bad juju.
yeah. Then you don't know who they were gonna start. They had
And
like
then
you could between Hasty and like
Swift
him.
too.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
was looking
it's
at
just
Swift too for the aim whoever his backup Swifts or whoever got the start for the Detroit line that wasn't
uh,
Swift.
I had him.
Yeah.
He had William. Yeah,
But did you
Jamal
Williams,
pick
Williams,
right?
him?
yeah.
But did you pick him up or did you always?
No, I
Drafted him.
I
Oh, you
drafted him in
drafted
like the
him.
seventh
Oh,
round or
okay.
something like
Yeah,
that.
he drafted him.
I drafted him. I was big on him.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and I went with Roundtree because Eckler had the issue, so I was like, oh, he's more likely to get hurt than Mostert. But
gotcha.
Okay.
and I saw that actually people were. I wish I saw this before, but people were saying Adam Schefter already had Elijah Mitchell before the game started. So
Mm,
I was like, ooh, that's like, I got next year. I'm gonna make sure to check on that week one. It's like
yeah.
if you just added like J.J. Taylor from the
Yeah.
Patriots, you'd be like, okay, he knows something about
No,
it. Like if he's not
I
gonna
feel
start,
like I remember last year from fantasy, Adam Schefter added someone
yeah,
before he broke the news on his. He added someone in his
on the,
fantasy league before he broke the news on Twitter,
yeah,
and then like
exact,
it was all over Reddit, like what he
Yeah.
did. But
yeah, and he had that with
Uh,
Mitchell. I saw it.
damn. Okay. So I missed that. Yeah. I didn't. I wouldn't. I thought about Mitchell, but I actually was leaning towards Hasty when I was like looking at it, and I just
Yeah,
didn't want to drop anyone. I thought Hasty was pretty good last year.
yeah. And,
All right.
anyways, let's anything else before we hop into this 122 man Elijah Mitchell.
no,
All right. Did you
Elijah Mitchell.
here did you work your way up to 121 or did you always know it
I was
was
like,
120 plus?
so you did ask that yesterday. It was gonna be like 100 plus. It was like 80. First, I was like, okay, 40%. Like someone's gonna spend 40%, because I know Nick spent like 71 on Mike Davis last year, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Or I thought it was closer to 80, but I guess Jonathan fact checked that, and I was like, okay, someone's gonna spend 80, and I'm like, I think that's the one position I want to shore up, and like I'd rather take the lottery ticket now. Like, I'd rather take that game one now, and part of it is because I looked at the film and he really did look good.
Oh,
Like
I
yeah.
see.
He's fast.
he's fast. Like yeah, there were big holes, but he was finishing runs like on top of players. And if you watch Trey, and then I'll watch Trey Sermon's tape, and I'm like, dude, he would fold after the first contact. Like he didn't keep his legs moving.
Uh-huh.
He's way slower.
Yeah, he is way slower. Like there's times where he looked like kind of explosive, but he didn't have like that top speed. He didn't have that acceleration. So, um, yeah, I'm holding on to him just in case still, because kind of draft capital and seeing what happens this week when he is active. Um, but yeah, I thought Mitchell looked really, really good, and I'm just banking on like having a running back to shore up my strong wide receiver tight end core.
You didn't think 100 would be enough? You thought like more 60% will get it
Yeah,
to you?
I was like, I'm like, so I started at 40. I was like, all right, 100, and I think all day I was at like around 100.
All day was around 100.
Yeah, so then and I'm like, fuck, someone's gonna go to 60. Like
Yeah.
someone's going to 60, so fuck it. Like I'm gonna go 1% over 60. And then,
Yeah,
yep.
I mean, if it's like the Mike Davis situation where he was like the only one, I would have gone like 60, 70 on him.
Mhm.
But there was just so much like the running back room is so crowded, and the thing is with San Francisco, they can just plug and play like
Yeah,
anybody, and like in 2 weeks, someone could fall out of favor, and then it's like the next guy up, right?
it's
Which
true.
is
Yeah,
what depressed the price for me. Even depressed the price, I still bid like almost $70 on him,
yeah.
Yeah.
but stuff like that, like, but
Our waivers do run early, so I feel like a lot of news broke out like this morning about
uh,
the running back room and a lot more signings and
I
stuff.
think on Johnson broke out last night.
I'm not scared to carry on. Like I'm like, dude, carry on's washed.
I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that they're like even in an already crowded running back room, they're bringing in more running backs. It's
I,
turning me
I
off.
got I gotta say he's spooked. He's spooked just because like last year, like Mostert
Last
was
year,
out
yeah.
and like everyone was out. Like he probably had like 5 running backs last year. And at a point, it was just a fullback, right, or something like that. Like
Yeah.
just playing for him.
hmm
Like I forgot the fullback's name, but I think he was like the only active one for a little bit, and he was running all the plays.
I see.
Yeah, I mean they were
So
playing Hasty. Hasty was one of their guys
yeah, yeah,
last
yeah.
year season,
So
and he was the only running back that you could take that you could start this
mhm,
week.
yeah. So yeah, just yeah,
Okay.
startable, yeah, all that. So I
Yeah.
did overspend because what you had the
It's
next
not like
most
the
at
Joe.
68.
It's not like the Joe Mixon one. Like I could see people going like 50%, 60% of the budget.
Mhm. It definitely looks worse when I'm like twice the second most,
Yeah, that doesn't
So
feel good. But you
yeah,
had
yeah,
you got your guy.
dude, I got my guy, so
But
it is what it is.
yeah, moving on to the shot bet counter. Right. So everybody here probably already knows their shots, but I haven't seen any Snapchats yet. So
No.
y'all
I
gotta
didn't
get
get them,
on
so
that.
yeah, they're due by before the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have over just to review the shot bets. We had over under half a trade before Sunday, which is I knew our league all trade talk and no trading. Right.
No, me and Nick basically had one accepted, but Corinne broke it.
Is the AJ Dillon
That's
one
right.
or
Yeah,
no?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was AJ
I
Dillon.
AJ Dillon and Pollard swap.
Yeah. But I mean, Pollard looks fine now. AJ Dillon
Yeah.
is like the one that. Okay, but we have Kyle Pitts over under 10 points, which was
That
an
was it.
easy call for
Too
me.
Oh
easy,
my
too
god.
Too
easy.
easy. In his first game, dude, come on, you gotta be kidding me. And then the brother bowl, the brother-in-law bowl, one shot, right? And side
Yeah.
Yeah.
bets between. I can't believe Chris won this one. Gus Edwards versus Rojo.
I can't believe I won that one
Man,
either.
that's so scuffed. And then Gus Edwards over 15 points, but you take the L for that one, so it evens out,
Yeah,
right?
it is what
All
it
right,
is.
so James owes 4. Michael owes 2. Chris owes 2. Royce owes 2. Nick owes 1. Jonathan owes 1. Vintuk owes 1. And I owe 1. But before we get to our shot, I think we
Oh,
have a special video prepared for James' shot. So if you guys want to tune in on YouTube, you can see it. All right, I'm gonna switch over right now, and then I should probably share my screen, right? Jeez. Oh,
Jonathan, what are you gonna take for your shot today?
I'm gonna take the stuff that Royce left in my house. I'm about to beat him in fantasy this week and drink his
all
alcohol.
right, can you guys see the video?
I'll pull it up right now.
It's on the Discord.
Cool.
All right, so what is this? 4 shots, I think. It could also be 3.
It's 4 shots, guy. I think he decided to go with the head-to-head.
All right,
It was up to him if he wanted to join the host head-to-head.
all right,
Good drink.
all right. Belvedere. Nice cup.
I don't know how you do vodka like that, though, man.
Did you guys?
1, 2. I like how everybody fills it up right now. Now that we roasted, I forgot who we roasted, but we
Who roasted
roasted
Royce?
someone so hard, and so everybody after that
know, it's good.
podcast,
I'm pretty sure we roasted Royce.
you gotta fill it up, man. Jeez. 4.
Looks a lot bigger in the cup.
Oh, there's his chase.
Oh,
I like how
there's
his chase
Chase.
cup is smaller. Jeez. All right, 4 shots from James.
Oh man.
Oh, wow.
Are you?
Jeez.
Good job, James. Are
Good
you
job,
guys
James.
the one big cup person or the separate shot person?
I think if it's three or more, I would still do separate. If it's like, I think someone did like 8 last year, I would do it in a cup.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I did 8 last year, and I do 2 cups, man. Like one
Oh,
for
yeah.
4, and then another 4,
Yeah, yeah.
later in the
Yeah.
podcast. I
You were
can't do.
hurting.
Yeah,
You
I
were
was hurt.
hurting.
I don't think I finished the podcast. Honestly,
You would have blacked out.
I
before
was
the
like
podcast
hanging
was
on
over.
my strand.
All right,
But
let's
yeah,
play a part
alright,
shot bets.
we'll hop right into our next segment. We're playing Believe It or Not this week. So
You can
each
pay
of
up your shot bet now.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, fuck. I was trying to get out of that, but
All right, I
all
got
right.
tequila.
You got 2. You doing
Would you
2?
owe one for David?
The head-to-head between us.
The
Oh, the
host
head-to-head.
predictions.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that later. But David hit all his shot bets. It was good stuff.
It was
Yeah,
a good
that's
week
why I was
for
like
me.
looking at this. I was like, I think he hit them all.
Yeah, he hit all his shot bets.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
got.
yeah.
I think who did I get? Oh, I picked Nick to win over.
Yeah,
Timmy.
we most of our week to weeks our head-to-heads that come down to like one matchup or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Cause some of the matchups are lopsided. All right.
All right,
Cheers, everybody.
Yeah. This is good stuff, Royce.
All right.
myself.
You have
Wow.
one more. All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna be playing Believe It or Not this week. We each came with 3 separate Believe It or Nots, and we haven't seen any of them, so each one of us will take turns asking one, and we'll each say whether we believe it or not. Okay, I'll start us off. My first Believe It or Not is, believe it or not, Timmy's team is really the highest in the room, ceiling wise.
Well, yeah, I believe that just because of his best players are his receivers, and receivers. I mean, if you look at the highest scores, they're almost always receiver of the season are receivers. So, yeah.
He does have 2 of the top receivers.
Yeah.
Every time I look at his team, I regret choosing 6 instead of 11.
I mean, but all right, go ahead, Chris. Believe it.
Yeah, I believe it. I think those 2 receivers have, like they could put up anywhere like 70 points together in
Yeah.
a week, right?
Yeah.
So just from
And-
those 2, I believe it.
Yeah. Chris.
No, go ahead, Jonathan. You're gonna say something?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Oh, I don't believe it. Just
You
because.
don't believe it?
Yeah, I don't believe it because I know that your other parts of your team also has to provide that floor for you to really get to that upper ceiling, you know?
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that like floor to really take off with his wide receivers. So I think that
Yeah.
depresses his ceiling a little bit because his floor is also low.
I think his running backs are always good for like a touchdown.
Yeah, I think his running backs have good. Like, I think Melvin Gordon too is always going to get touches, and Darrell Henderson.
So
It's just his tight end. I think if
Mhm.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I think Gronk was a little bit of a fluke. Hence,
Yeah, I think
Same.
exactly.
but all
I'll,
right.
I'll go next. Believe it or not, Royce's skill players continue their dry spell of touchdowns, and he has less than, I think it's 3 total touchdowns for the week.
Skill players, as in running backs.
Yeah, running backs and wide receivers.
Okay.
Less than 3, so 2. He only got 2, I think, from Lamar Jackson. But I'm talking about I think the rest of his skill players, which everyone but a quarterback.
Oh yeah, less than 3. That's easy. That's easy. He's not going to get 3 from his skill positions. No,
Okay,
I don't think so.
you believe it?
Wait, what was the
I
believe
believe
it or
it.
not again?
So believe it or not, Royce's skill positions, so everyone but a quarterback, they're gonna total less than 3 touchdowns.
Oh, 3 touchdowns. Ooh.
Yeah. Less than 3. So
No,
2.
that's easy under because I think if you get 3 touchdowns on your skill position players, you're pretty happy
I
with the
mean,
day.
he got 0 last week, right? So
Oh,
it has
no.
to be. It has to be the under, right? Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe they'll
Okay.
get 3.
You don't believe he'll get 3? Okay. Yeah. So
don't
pretty much
believe
the line, as I kind of said it, was like 2.5. So you guys don't believe
Okay,
it?
so
Okay.
under.
No,
two,
yeah.
Under.
I
Okay.
would definitely, yeah.
Okay. Jonathan, go ahead.
Mine is, believe it or not, you don't need a draft well if you have the first pick. And so
I
this is what I
believe
look at.
it.
I think CMC is so much better than everyone. I mean, he had no touchdowns and was a running back 1 last
I think he
week.
was the 2nd overall. No, I think CMC.
He was the first running back
No, yeah, he's number 1. No
he's
without a
number one.
touchdown.
Without a touchdown.
I believe it.
Dude, CMC is a cheat code, dude.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
a
even
cheat code.
fair.
I was watching him play and I'm like, God damn, dude, this guy's tearing off like 10-yard receptions every play.
Dude,
Because I look
cheat.
at the projections and I'm like, David's team is not good, but then he has like one of the highest projections every week, and it's just because of fucking CMC.
I have
It's
CMC and Patrick Mahomes,
and
bro.
Mahomes.
And that's like 50 points.
Yeah, that's 50 points every week. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like always wondering where he gets his points from, and it's from those 2 guys.
Yep.
Alright, yeah, I believe it, dude.
I mean, it helps that Mahomes is a keeper. I think it'd be tougher to pick Mahomes in the 4th coming back to you if you weren't keeping him.
True,
Yeah.
yeah. The
Um,
4-12 was what really
I would say, like just in our draft, you could argue for like not believing it just because of keepers. Like there's
True.
so much value lost in that 2-3 turn, but you have CMC, right? So
mhm.
I can see the argument. All right, David, back to you.
Believe it or not, auto drafting is a viable strategy, and that we should treat it the same as 0 RB or hero RB.
Oh man,
Like
so
in terms
yeah.
of respect.
Marcus's
Like-
team is so good. I hate how good his team is.
Yeah.
he also got lucky. Zach Ertz got hurt, so Dallas Goedert is like pretty viable now.
Yeah.
I think Dallas Goedert was always good, but Zach Ertz pulled his hammy, so it's like, well, now he has a top tier like tight end too.
So if
So-
someone chooses to auto draft, we won't make fun of them because it's like that's a strategy that works.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a curse.
All
It's
right.
almost like we have to, if you auto draft, we have to give you like a kicker in the 4th or something like that.
Yeah. Force the computer to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I think his auto draft worked because of his good keepers.
True.
Otherwise, I think it would have been because like the CPU didn't get a pick twice. In those 2 picks, they probably would have picked a QB or like someone
True,
early in those picks.
And yeah, you're right. All right, my second one. So yeah, I believe it too, just because.
Oh wow! So put some respect on auto draft.
Yeah, I believe
okay,
it. I believe
okay.
it. Maybe I'm just a little stitious, right? not superstitious, but a little.
Just
stitious.
a little.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead.
Believe it or not, 3 teams. So we had 3 teams in the past week not score 100 points. Believe it or not, 3 teams are not going to score less than 3. Are going to score less than 100 points again this week. So
I was surprised this wasn't a shot bet last week. I thought a good shot bet would be like, does a team score under like 80 this week out of everyone? Because I think it's bound. I think it's bound to happen. People bust.
Yeah, if you set the line at half, I think there would have been a good amount that have been like, like that. I think it would have been pretty split. Like some people would have said yes, some people would have said no. But yeah, so 3 teams scored less than 100 points last week. Do you guys think it's gonna happen again? Believe it or not.
3 teams, you said?
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know the actual stats on this, but I think 3 teams score less than 100 points like almost every week. Because it's yeah.
I believe it. You got no excuse for that happening. No one's injured yet, except for like Raheem Mostert. Like if you score less than 100, yeah, it's like everyone on your team is healthy. You should not be scoring under 100. Like this week 1 should have been the highest scoring week, and then when like injuries happen, I think the scores will go down.
Yeah.
But week 2, you should. If you score less than 100, then you're a bum.
All I'm gonna say is I mean, no matter what you do, like let's take Royce's team for example. Like you don't expect Julio and Justin Jefferson and like shit just happens is what I'm saying. So shit happens to I think more often than not to 3 teams.
Mhm.
So I will not believe it. I think if I answered
Okay.
it correctly.
You won't believe it. Jonathan, do you believe it or don't believe it?
I won't then. I think 3 people will definitely score under 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
I believe it. I believe that 3 people are going to score less than 100.
Okay, so we all.
Okay. All right. Jonathan, go ahead. Your number 2.
Believe it or not, Yi won't spend $10 of fab by week 8 and still be top 6.
He spent 2, right? In like the preseason.
He did, yeah, and he dropped the guy the day after.
Top 6 in the rankings or the power rankings or
Top 6 in
the
standings.
standings.
Oh,
Standings. I believe it.
I
Barring
believe it. I
injury,
believe
I
it.
believe
That
it.
guy's frugal. I think
Yeah.
like if we had Fab roll over, he'd have the big bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Alright.
believe that. David, your last one.
Believe it or not, Michael's team is the worst team in the league.
Oh man.
I believe it. I mean, I feel bad because I feel like it's bullying. You guys talk shit on this guy so much.
No,
And I really don't want to say his team is bad, but after the draft, I remember laughing with Vince. I'm like, this guy's team is so horrible, and I feel bad because I really don't want to like. You guys are just mean to
We
him, but
don't.
it's
No,
just, his
here,
team is
Mike.
horrible.
Michael, if you listen to the podcast, I don't believe that your team's the worst in the league. Okay, I'm not
Who's
bullying
worse?
you.
Who's worse?
Yeah, that's my thing. Like
Who's
I don't
worse?
think his
No,
team's
I had
bad.
an answer. I had an answer
Yeah.
for this. I knew
Like,
you would
okay,
ask
I don't
it.
think
Okay.
I don't think his team's bad,
Mm-hmm.
but I do think his team might be the worst.
It is.
Like just like like it's not a bad team, but if I had to compare, like just comparative 1 through 12, like yeah, I think his team might be 12, but I don't think it's a huge gap between like 12 and 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, in a vacuum, if I had to compare it, I would say yeah, like his team might be the worst team, but I don't think it's a big different strength between 12 and like 6. Like yeah, the 6 through 12 teams.
Yeah. I agree with that too.
But yes, like
Yeah,
I guess I'd have to believe
I'd say it's not the worst.
Alright.
It's second
Who's
worst. It's
worst?
second
Who's
worst.
Okay, second worst. Who's the worst? Who do you have as the
Who's the
worst?
worst?
I don't want. I mean, I don't want to bully this other guy either, so
No,
I'll just leave.
It's fucking Royce then. It's Royce. It's Royce then.
You know, I just want to. I just want to keep
He
it
thinks the
as.
team is the worst.
I think looking through it, I think it might be Royce
Yeah.
or Ty. It might be Ty also, but
Okay.
I'd say
Yeah.
those two.
So you would put them like tied for last place. Those three tied for last place.
I
Ish.
say Michael is 7th place, and last place is taken by one of those two, and the
Okay.
other one is like that's all around the same. But I don't think by no
So
means do I think Michael's team
10, 11, 12.
because he has A-Rod, Gibson, Naj. I think last game was kind of like an aberration.
Yeah,
I think Naj is better than that game.
He had bad matchups last week. I would say that.
Okay, and Maple. Yeah, I mean, not the worst.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Believe it or not, we don't hear from Marcus this season.
Yeah.
This season,
Yeah.
damn,
This
it's an
season.
extended season
season.
too, though.
I said good luck. And I said,
Thanks, Louis.
It's an extended season
Alright.
with 1 week too.
I said
though.
good luck to him. He didn't say good luck back. I said GG. He didn't say GG. He made a couple waiver wire moves, and we still haven't heard anything from him.
Yeah.
I would imagine he after like your week, how close that game was, I would expect a GG, but
Yeah, because he definitely checked.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Believe it or not?
the end of this,
Yeah,
I do not believe it.
You don't believe it?
I
mean,
think he'll
okay.
message us sometime before the end of the end of the year.
No. The only communication he's ever gonna do is like changing his team name.
Yeah.
That's the only. Because I can't remember a single message from him last season.
It was someone was talking shit to him, and he like finally clapped back. It was like Roy saying something,
Yeah.
and he finally said something. But yeah, I think every time we've heard like something that's happening through him, it's like James or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he never tells us, "Hey, I'm on vacation." It's just always nothing, and then James says he's on vacation.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jonathan. Your last one.
Okay. Mine's not a league thing. It's just, believe it or not, Saquon Barkley finishes out of top 24 running backs.
Oh man.
all season long.
Season
Yeah.
long, right?
Season long.
I don't believe it. I think he might end up being a running back too, but I don't believe
Okay, so finishes the season outside top 24. I don't
Based on
believe it.
based on average, so not like if he gets
Oh, per
injured,
game, per game.
per
it. Yeah,
game.
yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
per game
per game,
basis.
per game.
Yeah, I don't believe per game is easy then.
yeah. Because like, if he's gonna get any sort of volume, like he'll be a top 24
I
back.
think
Mm.
who is 24? I feel like a Naeem Heinz type player would be 20, like right at 24. And
Yeah,
you're
that's
telling me
true. Yeah.
Saquon Barkley can't beat out Naeem Heinz on a per game basis?
Okay, what about total? What about total?
I would not. Okay, not total. I think he
Not
sits out a
total.
couple games.
True,
Yeah.
Yeah, just based on his history and
I can see that.
yeah. Okay, not
Alright.
yeah, not total, not end of season, but on a per game basis, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, any quick thoughts on we had no trades this week. I think next week if we also have no trades, we can pick back up the trading block segment where we talk through some people like James Robinson's for example. So
Yeah.
we'll stir the trading pot next week. But any quick thoughts from the week, the past week's games?
Um, we all picked Royce. All the guests picked Royce, and we lost out on that.
Yeah.
So that was surprising. Honestly, I think
Yeah.
Royce scoring only like 60 points was very, very surprising. And, it is a definitely shit happens week. Um,
I would have picked Royce too.
Yeah.
other than that, everything was pretty even. And like you said, you had some thoughts about it. What do you think, David?
Yeah, I thought there were a lot of like really close matchups this week that went down to like a Monday Night Miracle or like
Yes, sir.
this
Yes,
specific thing
sir.
happening. So yeah, so I thought there were a lot of like Jonathan and Ty's matchup. You guys were just
Yeah.
slugging it out too. We
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
Thursday we thought it was wraps, right?
Yeah.
Ty
I
had it, and then after like 1 p.m. we thought it was wraps for Jonathan, and
yeah.
then the night games Ty started coming back, and so I'm like that was crazy. But
Yeah, I
um,
thought after Thursday night, I assumed I lost. It was just like the insane games from Cooper and Brown.
Yeah.
I thought Brown was punishing me because I didn't take him, and he helped me win the booty last season. So I was like, oh, this is him, because I chose Debo instead of
but
him.
then Debo went
Yeah, and then
off.
Debo went
Yeah.
off.
Yes,
Debo
sir.
went off.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, what about Chris too? Because I don't know if you noticed, Chris. They did another stat correction for you this morning.
What happened? Did I lose?
They took off 5 yards from Jalen Hurts rushing yards.
Oh, I still won
So,
then, right?
but you still won by
You won
0.4.
barely. You won.
Yeah.
Holy!
You
Yeah.
barely won. I
Instead
saw.
of by 0.9, you won by like 0.4.
I actually did not see that.
I saw
Yeah,
that
yeah.
this
Oh, shit.
morning. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
so
goodness.
that's
Oh.
I woke up and I saw it, I checked, I'm
That's
like, oh
one-
shit, the Kids lose?
That's
But
one
0.5?
catch. That's one.
Yeah, that's like one
One
catch.
catch. One catch for 0 yard difference.
Dude, talk about that. Do you guys all watch the Monday night game? John, did you watch the
Oh
watch
yeah,
the Monday night game?
that was good.
Dude,
That
also,
was-
dude, my butt was clenched. I thought Tyson would have got me some yards, and I can't believe it went down to like a Daniel Carlson 50-yarder.
He got put in the doghouse, I think, because he messed up a lot of blocking plays.
He messed up a couple reads and a couple blocking plays, so I get it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Holy, I didn't even realize that. Damn. Okay, so
Yeah, that's
Wait,
was-
did
I
you
was
hear
scared.
about the fantasy footballers? The what's his name? Mike put
The
up
Hitman.
Oh yeah,
a prop bet for 40.
Yeah.
40 racks.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. I feel
Dude.
bad, but if you
going into it, I bet he thought Mark Andrews was probably the most likely one too.
yeah, I
Yeah.
feel
I
so
would
bad
think,
for
yeah,
that.
that one I feel like is the Mark Andrews catching a touchdown was more likely than all of them, I think.
Imagine putting in a free prop bet and winning 40. That's crazy. Okay,
That's
whatever.
crazy.
All right, so going into the power rankings, everybody saw them. Any quick thoughts?
The graph was cool. I didn't know there's a preseason graph, but Timmy jumped up from 8 to 1. Roy slid from 2 to 11. The power ranking scores are pretty close. So if they're ranking it by the number, like Timmy and Jonathan, very, very close, right? 1.31,
Yeah.
1.39. And everyone else is tight too. I remember like last year, 10, 11, 12 would be like 8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
11, or whatever.
Yeah.
And the lowest is like not even 7. So not
But
too
he's
bad.
so far from Royce. He's everyone's less than
True.
one between each other, and he's
True.
1.5 behind, almost 1.5 behind Royce.
True.
That's
But I
just a
thought the
computer.
um,
A computer doesn't
Uh,
preseason
calculate
rankings.
a player's heart and will, right?
it calculates the toilet though, so there's that. All right.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? Anyone else have thoughts on the rankings?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Michael's team's not that much worse than Royce's, or not Royce's, but Royce and Ty's team. Ty at 5. But what surprised me was Vingy. I don't know if you guys saw this. Vingy has an overall record of 3-8 in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
fourth seat. So either he has a really hard strength of schedule or something. But yeah,
Well, because his roster, rest of season roster is number one. I think that it really carried him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the formula is, but like you can. When I look at this rest of season roster, I agree with it. And he has really good starters, and I think the best bench in the league.
yeah, I
I agree
agree.
with that. All right. Some of the questions. Who do you think from the top 6 is gonna move down?
Jonathan.
Me? You think
Go
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
top
no, no, no.
that?
I think you go first. You go first.
Oh, I. It's tough. I mean, I think pretty much everyone stays up here. I mean,
Yeah.
it's low hanging fruit. It's I would say Ty, but even then, I think Ty's gonna
Six.
finish between like 5 and 8. I think so. It's a toss up. Like I want to put. I think 7 or 8 teams have a really good chance of making it, or not really good, but a pretty good chance of making it. I just don't know who to take out.
Is it an 8-team playoff? I forget.
6. It's 6 to
Six,
6.
six.
Oh,
It's still
6 with the
6. Yeah,
bye. Okay.
yeah.
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 I would say, um, I think that I agree with Jonathan. I think the top 6 stay where they are. But if I had to choose, I think it'd just be between you and David and I, just because we're playing each other. So it might be the loser of the matchup might drop out of the top
I
6.
see. Who do you think from the bottom 6 is gonna move up?
I mean,
I
it's
think
just
James.
yeah. It's. I think it's either James or Marcus. They both have really really good teams, and I think they're both. Well, James is pretty active. I think if Marcus loses, it's because like he gets injuries and he doesn't like, you know, isn't active enough on the waiver wire. But I think they're both of those guys got really really solid teams.
Yeah, I agree. I think Marcus also moves up. I think James like hovers 5, 6, 7. I think Marcus has the potential to break into that top 5.
Okay.
I think Vintuk's got a chance too, but I think he's got a really. I think this week is gonna really show if his team is good or not.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
That's it for this
That's
week's
it.
stuff. Let's jump into the week 2 predictions. Just really quick, Jonathan, do you want to do the shot bet with us head to head?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got week 2 predictions. Our first matchup, which I should have saved for the last. I think I just put it in because I did the order of my sleeper.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
is myself versus David, the 2 hosts.
Oh,
So,
we're sorry. I thought you put this one first, but we're gonna
The
do this one last.
Hostess Bowl.
yeah.
Oh, so
I
we're gonna do
gotta-
it last then.
We talk about it last. We'll come back
Yeah.
to it. Let's talk. Start with Vincent and Ty. Jonathan, what do you think about this matchup between Vincent and Ty?
I think this one's it's gonna be close. I had a hard time choosing between this one because I think both teams have really good matchups this week. And but ultimately, I think I chose Vintuk. I think I chose Vintuk because I think Kamara is gonna play really well. He's got a they're gonna definitely have a positive game script, so I think they're gonna run him a lot. As much as I love my Cowboys, Herbert's gonna throw all over them.
Mhm.
And
But the thing is to think about that is Herbert's thrown to Keenan Eckler,
yeah,
right?
that's another thing too. It's like it's so tough because like if Herbert does well, then these guys do well too. But I thought it's just like Kamara and AJ Brown having a good matchup too.
Mm.
I think he's got it, but it's barely because I think Keenan like I said earlier, Keenan Allen and Eckler both have really good matchups as well. But I'm taking Vintuk barely.
Yeah, I'm also taking Vintuk. Also not as close as Jonathan's making it, but like maybe like 15-point difference. I think I mean Vin has some nice wide receivers. I think AR and AJ Brown bounces back in a bad way or in a big way. So if AJ Brown is healthy, I think he's like been limited in practice, but that could just be like Julio
He's
is like
old. Yeah.
Julio's like, yo, why are you practicing? And then AJ
Yeah.
Brown's like, cause I
You're right.
need to, and he's like, nah, just do what I do my
Yep.
entire career
Just not
and take
practice.
it off. You're good, bro.
Yeah.
And then I think AJ Brown's taking a page out of Julio's book, but
Yeah.
yeah, again, Herbert has been slinging it to Eckler, Keenan Allen, and even Mike Williams. So I think the key for Vin to win is that Herbert spreads it out a bit, like to the emerging Mike Williams, rather than going to Keenan or Eckler. But I do have him squeaking it out because I think at his other positions it's pretty much even. But I think AR and AJ Brown bounces back.
Okay. So I actually have the opposite take between you guys. I think Ty's got this. Yes, Alvin Kamara like is too good. But I think Vin losing Judy like hurts a lot because I'm not sure how I feel about Boyd. Jamar Chase showed out. They're playing Chicago, which is not a pretty good defense. Do you think AJ Brown's gonna bounce back? I'm not sure if he is. Yeah, that O line looked lost, but I think he'll do better. But I don't know if he'll return value this week. And I really like Tyler's receivers. I really like Amari Cooper. I'm a big fan of Amari Cooper. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of Keenan Allen. And Ty needs Cousins. He just switched him out for Baker. So we'll see the Baker play versus Houston and how they'll do. And then Tanya to show. But I do like the Baker play better than Cousins. So if Tanya shows out, Baker shows out, I think Ty has a chance of winning this week.
I also chose Vin because the Cowboys only have one good DB, and that's Diggs, and he's probably going to be on Allen. I mean, he shut down Mike Evans last Thursday, so I think
I wouldn't even say it's shutting down Mike Evans. I would say Brady's like looking like, okay, I have three badass receivers. Like, let's look out there. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, Diggs is right there.
and he takes on the matchup.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
throw it somewhere else, right? Like, I could definitely see that being the case too.
Yeah.
Next matchup, we got Royce versus Jonathan. So we'll talk about it first, and then Jonathan can give his thoughts at the end of it. But David, what do you think about this Royce versus Jonathan matchup?
Yeah, I definitely have Jonathan winning. Miles Sanders is looking really. I mean, I think I saw flashes of it last year, but Jalen Hurts didn't really emerge as a quality quarterback yet. But Miles Sanders with Jalen, I regret. I mean, it seems so simple now, but Miles Sanders is looking pretty good. I mean, and TJ Hawkinson is like a real. I mean, if I didn't get Kittle, I would have picked up TJ Hawkinson. He is like a man, right?
Yes, sir.
He's like just
Yeah.
out there
Yes,
dominating.
sir.
Yeah.
And whereas on the flip side, Kyle Pitts, they're like drafted like kind of in the same round, and TJ Hawkinson has been in the league for like around 3 years, and Kyle Pitts is in his first year. So if it took TJ Hawkinson 3 years to get his tight end legs, I don't think Kyle Pitts is going to break out this year to return nearly as good a value as TJ Hawkinson. So I have Jonathan in this one. All else, I think their teams are pretty equal.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think Royce's team is that bad, but I do. I do think their team's equal. I think Jonathan's team is like a lot better, and he scored how much? How much he scored last week? 140, mid 140s,
142.
142,
Yeah.
and that's with Aaron Jones like sucking, right?
And Josh Allen sucking too.
Yeah. So I see bounce back games for Jones. And if you just get better games from Jones and Josh Allen and consistent production everywhere else, like not necessarily those boom games that you got from Samuel Hopkins. Yeah, I think Jonathan takes this one pretty easily because I don't see the Pitts matchup being that high of a ceiling. I'm not sure about Jones. Yeah, and I just do like Jonathan's team better.
I was saying Miles Sand are the biggest discrepancy because if you go across, it's like around this. They should be scoring around the same except for the Miles Sanders matchup and the Hawkinson matchup, right?
Yeah.
like Justin Jefferson, D Hop, there's a world where they score the same, and Debo and
True.
Julio, right?
True.
So that's what so the biggest disparity between positions is Hawkinson and Miles Sanders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jonathan, how do you feel about your matchup?
I like Pitts. When I said I was gonna send Shockwaves in the draft, I was gonna pick Pitts in the 4th, but I couldn't pass up Lockett.
I'm hearing like so many reports of that. You keep saying I'm gonna send shockwaves, and each time you say that, it's like a different shockwave that never comes. And so I don't know which is the real original shockwave that was supposed to come. Right?
Original was Pitts in the 4th. I mean, and I like them. If you watch the game, he doesn't even have tight end pads on. He has those tiny wide receiver pads, so you know he's not blocking. He's basically, I was looking at him like he's like a wide receiver you can put in your tight end position. So I really like them, but I couldn't. I want to say it's close, but I think just because of the matchups, I think I'm pretty handily gonna beat him. I think even though it's close every position, I think I have the edge in every single one. Like you could say Jefferson and Hopkins are about the same, but I mean, everyone would say Hopkins is. I think.
Yeah, if you flip a coin like 100 times, it's gonna land more on Hopkins' side. Than
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, and I think Derrick Henry didn't look good. If you watch the game, they had like a goal line where he only had to run it 1 yard, and he missed it twice. And I was like, ooh, maybe Henry's not like.
No, it's not winter yet, dude. It starts out slow every year.
Yeah, he does always start.
Just
David knows this. He always trades him in the middle of the season. David always trades Derrick Henry.
But hey, it's still only week 2, so it's still early. Yeah. So I got him early.
True.
But I think with Royce, he has a lot of start sit decisions. Like, is he gonna start Chase instead of Robinson? I think that's a consideration. He's got Chase in there now. I can see him flip flopping between. I don't want to give him advice, but you know, he has to. I think he has to look at that again, and then like Devonta Smith or
he's got to take a long look at Carlos Hyde and think.
Yeah, and then Devonta Smith. He had Chark in yesterday. He just switched in Devonta Smith today, so I know he's thinking about it. I'm just telling him he's got to think a little bit more.
Okay.
And I picked up Green Bay today because I thought he was going to pick up Green Bay for his defense, but he went Chicago instead.
Okay. All right. So he doesn't listen to the same research. All right. Next matchup, we got James versus Marcus. I can go first here. I think both teams are pretty even between their running backs and their quarterbacks. I like Kyler Murray. I like Dak Prescott. Cook, Swift, Chubb, Mixon. I would say the receivers are even too. Metcalf and Deontay, and then you have like Woods, Higgins. So I would say it comes down between Aguilar and Sutton. Does Aguilar do well? Does Sutton produce now that Jerry Judy's out? And at this moment, I'm picking James to pull this one out.
Yeah, go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, I took James too, but that's all. I think if Marcus puts Kareem Hunt in instead of Aguilar, I would take Marcus. I know it's weird starting both of them, but against Houston, they're gonna run. It's a positive game script. They're both gonna run a bunch, and I think you gotta I think you have to put both of those guys in. But if he keeps Aguilar in, I'm gonna take James. But I think if he puts Kareem Hunt, then I would take him. And he listens to this podcast, so he won't even take my advice.
That's true.
I don't think he does, right?
No, I don't think he does.
If he switches it, I'll switch out your shot. If he starts Hunt over Aguilar, I will switch out your.
All right, here, Marcus. If you listen to the podcast and you make it this far, I'll take 5 shots if you DM me and say take 5 shots. All right. So, anyways, picking back off of you guys. Right? It's pretty evenly matched across the board. So I think it does come down to the flex, Cortland Sutton versus Aguilar. And I mean, it's so hard to guess flexes, but based on who they have in now, I might take Sutton, so I'll take James instead. But there is one thing that Marcus can do, and it's not put Kareem Hunt in, but it's to put Matthew Stafford in for the quarterback position, right? Because the Rams is just an unstoppable offense right now.
This guy, dude.
And so, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So, but I do pick James.
All right, let's jump into our next matchup. We got Michael versus Nick. Jonathan, how do you feel about the lowest scoring matchup last week, and then someone that went up against the highest scoring team? That was Timmy.
I think any other week I would pick Nick, but I'm going with Michael just because Saquon's hurt. It's on a short week and against Washington, so I don't think Saquon can do very well. I also offered Singletary and Pollard for Dylan at first, but he said Singletary's a bum, so he wanted to just do one for
This
one.
is true.
And
Wow.
I would start if I had Singletary, I would start him over Barkley for sure.
True.
At this week, and that's how low expectations I have of Barkley this week. That's why I think he should have went for Mark Ingram.
Yeah, I would
'cause
have
think
picked up
it
Mark
would have helped.
Ingram.
It would have helped his team a lot if he wouldn't have to start Saquon this week. So that's why I would take him. And I think also his flex is kind of. I don't particularly like Rager that much. I don't think the Eagles played the Falcons last week, and I think that's why some of their receivers are good. But I don't think he. I didn't look at his stats, but I don't think he could replicate whatever he did, or the reason why he's putting him in now.
Oh wait, this is the match of the week too. I don't know if we said that right.
Are we calling this one the match of the week?
It's right here in the show doc.
I put it down as a shot bet. What do you guys think? I only put it because Michael scored the lowest amount of points this week, and Nick scored a very respectable amount of points.
Respectable.
Not me.
Wow, we're really lowering
I
the
was like
bar
100.
for match of the week.
Wait, how much did he? No,
I think
Nick
actually he scored like 100,
he
right?
scored like
110.
115.
I
Oh,
know, but that was
115?
like in the middle, right? It's like
Oh yeah,
like
I thought you know
five.
what? That's my fault. I thought he scored way more because Timmy scored 155. Where I was like, oh okay,
Oh
like,
yeah, he
that's-
was done.
like, he was done, right? Like
He
Yeah.
was done at the end of Sunday. There's
yeah,
no
yeah.
way.
So we don't have to call it that. But what do you guys think? Do you guys want to make
I
that
think
shot?
this is if it's not gonna be between you two, it's gotta be this one.
You
Okay.
can take us too.
Yeah. Yeah. Out of respect for the match of the week, we'll skip this one and we'll make the match.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
sorry. No disrespect to your teams.
All right. So, David, what do you think about this Michael Nick matchup?
Yeah, I think Michael wins this one because again, I would like Nick's team a lot more if, let's say, Saquon Barkley wasn't hurt, or if you replaced it with like a Nick Chubb type of deal, right? And Terry McLaurin losing Ryan Fitzpatrick from I don't think Heineke is really throws it downfield like a lot, and if he does, I think he played like 2 or 3 games with Terry McLaurin, and I don't think Terry McLaurin like did much in those 2 to 3 games. So I don't think the outlook looks very good for Terry McLaurin. And so I think Aaron Rodgers bounces back in a big way, and Najee and Gibson bounces back. So I have Michael winning this one out, but
Okay,
not
cool.
not because his team like scores a lot of points, but because I don't think Nick can reach that 100 century threshold.
Oh, so you're saying Nick's going to be one of the people that score under 100?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. I think Darren Waller's too good. Man, that's the only
Yeah,
person that's too good on his team, in my opinion.
um,
I would say, yeah, I agree with the Saquon. I agree with the Rager take. I really like Michael's running backs this week. I like Najee Harris versus Las Vegas. I like Gibson. He's probably gonna get a bulk of the work. Is he gonna get enough? Is Michael gonna get enough points tight end to keep up with Waller? But besides that, I don't like that Rager
is a
matchup.
weakness.
So Nick might need a better flex play in my opinion to have a chance. But I got Michael this week.
Yeah. Michael would have probably scored in the 50s if he didn't listen to you guys and put in Jonnu Smith instead of Mike Gesicki, because Like Gesicki scored 0 points last week.
How much did Johnny score? Did he
I
get
think
negative?
6 or 7, something like that.
Oh, that's
I
true.
mean, definitely more than 0.
Six
And
point three.
he would have scored 60 if he didn't make that Rojo bet.
True, you
Yeah,
would have
that's it.
probably played someone else, right?
He had Chenault, and I don't know how
Yeah,
much Chenault had. Though.
yeah.
All right.
Or
One more.
Claypool. He benched Claypool last
Oh,
week too.
did he bench
Yeah.
Claypool
Why
too?
would you
Yeah,
bench Claypool?
Yeah, that's why I was saying you baited him because he had Claypool or Chenault in, and then you swapped them out for Rojo.
Well, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not my fault. It was just like he literally tore his ACL later. He could have started anyone else and been like, okay, whatever. Like I won anyways.
Yeah.
All right.
Timmy versus Nick or Timmy versus Knee. Why don't you start us off, Jonathan?
I took Timmy, even if Jacobs is out. I know there's a lot of reports saying Jacobs could be out, and he looked like he was going in and out of the game on Monday. But I just think his matchups are so good. I think I would. This is another instance of where like I would take Knee any other week except for this week, because I think Knee's matchups are pretty tough this week. But and Timmy's are really good. Like he's got Devontae Adams against Detroit. He's got Russell Wilson against Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee looked like booty against Arizona, and he's got Melvin Gordon against Jacksonville. I don't like Melvin Gordon too much, but against Jacksonville, he's definitely it's
True.
gonna be a positive game script, and he's gonna play him. It's funny because I put one on the notes here. I was like, is he gonna start Latavius Murray or Kenyon Drake if Jacobs is injured? And he's already got Latavius Murray in his flex.
We'll see after how that plays out, right? So who do you like better in that spot?
And
Jacob,
that's
the starter of Vegas or Latavius?
I would put the starter actually they're going against Pittsburgh. So maybe he made I think he made I would choose Jacobs just because the draft capital, and like in that position I couldn't think straight. I'm like, oh, I picked him in the 4th. I gotta start him. But he's got a hard on for lay you out Murray, so I think he's probably gonna play.
I think lay you out. What do we call? I think Latavius Murray. That's such a bad nickname. I think Latavius Murray could be a pretty sneaky start this week.
Yeah.
KC, because obviously they're gonna be like down a lot, and they don't trust Tyson with the blocking assignments, or so it seems, right? So Murray's just gonna be on the field as the pass catching back and like in blocking roles to help protect what's his name, Lamar Jackson. So I think Murray will be on the field a lot more than Jacobs. Let's say if Jacobs is less than 100%.
Okay.
You mean then Tyson?
Or yeah, Tyson, but he'd be playing more than I think Jacobs.
Oh, I see.
That's
Yeah.
what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
If Jacobs is in fact like actually injured, then I would play Latavius Murray is a good play.
Yeah.
If that's something you're worried about.
Okay.
But
my turn, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say I really like Knee's team. I think Zeke bounces back. He had a rough week. And they're probably going to feed him just maybe for the narrative. I think he still looks good. I like Jonathan Taylor. He's doing really well. David Montgomery looked really good against the Rams too. So, quarterbacks. Tannehill might bounce back, but I say Russell Wilson. Timmy has it. These wide receivers have the ability to keep up because Thielen looked nice, CeeDee Lamb looked nice. So they might not have that ceiling, but they should do enough work. And I just think these running backs are too good, and they take this matchup because Timmy had like 7 touchdowns last week. He had a good stat line.
2 70-yard touchdowns.
Yeah, he had a good stat line without the touchdowns because 35 points. No, 42. Oh, that's 42 points, right? 7 times 6, 42. So he would have had like 110 with no touchdowns. So he was in a good position. I think it'll be close anyways. And I'm going to go with me.
Yeah, I agree with Chris. I also go with me because, like I always tell Timmy, like what goes up must come down, right? And so I think this week we're going to see how down Timmy can really get.
Okay.
And so I picked
Okay.
Knee because Knee does have that floor, that like it's the running back floor, and I don't even think Melvin Gordon's gonna be the RB1 in like let's say 2 to 3 weeks. And Gronk is like not gonna have a 20-point game. I think he'd be closer to like 7 points this week.
Yeah. 20 points was an outlier.
Yeah, so I have Knee winning.
I think Gronk has a better week than Higbee though.
Who's
I don't
Higbee
believe
did
in Gronk, but I think Gronk has a better week than Higbee.
Higbee had 9 points without touchdowns, so I'm like, that's not bad.
Yeah. 2-2.
All right. I can see that. I think it'll still be close, but yeah, I can see Gronk having a better week for
Yeah,
sure.
it'll be close for sure.
Mhm.
I think Timmy would be closer down to near his floor this week.
All right.
I just think with Devontae Adams going against Detroit, he's just gonna score too many points. I mean, they had he's got a he had 150 and Adams played like ass last week too.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, but baked into their score or like their projections right now, they're already projecting Adams and Tyreek to have like almost 20 points each.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's already baked in.
I definitely think it's the Latavius pick. I Gronk Latavius.
It's that
and,
flex. That
Yeah.
flex gotta do work. All right.
and he has Baltimore D versus Kansas City. I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
See,
They didn't look as good as I thought they would. I mean, I don't know if the Raiders are that good at offense, but it seemed like they were scoring pretty. I mean, 20. What
They
was
got
it?
burned
20.
deep a
Yeah.
lot.
yeah.
You watched that replay of the? I forgot that the high paid DB on the Ravens giving up on that last play.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I did on the last
Yeah.
for the Zay Jones.
Yeah, where Sage just
Yeah.
But he was like beat, so it's like the only way he'll catch him is like if the guy misses the catch.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. I think at that level, you just kind of, like as a high school coach, like you're pissed off, but at that level, you just kind of know, like, fuck, I'm beat here.
Like it's like
Yeah.
I mean, he could have caught up and maybe like if he was like bobbling it, then maybe he
Yeah.
could punched it out.
But
But it was a good
yeah,
ball.
I mean, yeah, they manned up and then sent pressure and then everything got picked up. So that's on the Ravens.
Did you? I think I was
well.
watching like Skip and Shannon, and Skip was saying how the Raiders were telling the press that they prepared for that exact defensive look all last week. Like that's all they practiced, and the only time they get it was on that last play of the game. And so John Gruden said, when you see this audible to that exact play, and it just so happened that they saw it on the last play of the game, which is why instead of rushing, Derek Carr audible to the touchdown because they practiced it all week.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. To the match of the week then. I guess this is the real match of the week. Sorry, Michael and Nick. We got myself versus David. Also, I can talk about it first.
Yeah, I'll be the tiebreak.
Okay, of course, we we're gonna take each other's teams. 2 shots of this. Is that the usual?
Yeah, we'll do 2 shots.
2 shots because we can partake in other shot bets and stuff. Of course, CMC is a beast, but I do think David losing Raheem Mostert's a big hole in his team.
I didn't have him last week either. I don't have him this week. It ain't nothing to me.
So yeah, and you know what? You did get a lot of points with only Mike Evans and Raheem Mostert scoring like 5 total, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. With that being said, I just think I think that my wide receiver core is gonna take a bounce back. They were scoreless. They played good defenses, and then we have and I have Kelsey this week too. So definitely still messing with my flex play, but I do like the rest of my team to take this matchup.
Yeah, I obviously have myself. I think I win the quarterback matchup. The only concern I have for myself is that running back, but I'd be a little bit more concerned if I didn't have Naeem Hines, which I'm hoping would be like maybe 9 to 10 points like every week until
That's what you're looking for.
That's what I'm looking for from him. And I think you have good wide receivers, but I don't think Calvin Ridley would be that good against Tampa Bay. Whereas
Mhm.
on the flip side, Mike Evans is going against Atlanta, which should have a pretty soft secondary. My only concern is my flex. I don't expect Corey Davis to repeat what he did last week. Just because like those 2 touchdowns is pretty, you can't rely on that every week. And they're playing New England, who is Bill Belichick has a history of dominating rookie quarterbacks in their first just like season, I guess. And
Yeah.
so that is a concern, but I hope that Zach Wilson only has eyes for Corey Davis, and that alone will give me the volume I need.
Is Crowder back this week?
He should be. I think he was COVID, right? So
Yeah, it says he'll return. Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no chemistry there
Okay.
is what I'm hoping.
I think this is you guys gotta. I mean, this is gonna be a matchup. I think an important one is Elijah Mitchell versus Heinz. I think you guys probably have the weakest running backs in the league. I think. David's got CMC, so I mean, besides that,
he's the wide
but like,
receiver
It's
and the
supposed to
yeah.
be weak. I'm
Yeah,
supposed to be weak at running back.
yeah.
yeah. But I think Jalen Hurts, man, I almost don't want to keep Josh Allen next season because when I saw Jalen Hurts go in the 14th round, I'm like, oh my, he's got. I think Jalen Hurts is really good and have that rushing upside with them. Tough thing is that he's against San Francisco, and then McCaffrey. I mean, we love McCaffrey, but he's going against New Orleans, and New Orleans actually look good. I
Yeah,
forget if
But it's still CMC. Like he's gonna put up
he's
20
still
points. But
CMC, yeah.
if he puts
Like,
up 20 points, I'm happy. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
thank
yeah.
goodness.
He
Like,
might
he's
put up
30
20 points with a touchdown, maybe.
Yeah, with a touchdown this time. But I don't know. Heinz against your Rams. You're gonna have to root against your Rams with Heinz. That's just bad juju. Um,
Oh, well, I said that about backwoods last and Rams defense last week.
it's true. But I think Kelsey is so much better than Kittle. I mean, Kittle's supposed to be the top, number 3 tight end, but I think Kelsey is just so good. I was watching that game against the Browns, and it seemed like Mahomes just loves throwing to Kelsey in the red zone. I think
He's
he's like
always
just
open.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
just always open. Even if he's not open, it like from 10 yards, I think just to tackle him, it's like he's gonna get like 3 or 4 yards just like in the process of tackling him.
Did you see
Um,
Did you guys see the press conference with Kittle where he was like, oh no, he was on the Monday Night Football conference thing with when Peyton Manning and stuff, and I was
with
just
the
watching it
Mannings.
on Instagram, and he was like, yeah, sometimes I just look at Mahomes, I just give him the eyes, like, yeah, we're just gonna make some shit up right now.
Yeah.
That's what Kelsey said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Kelsey said.
Yeah. He said something, and he said like he has like freedom to do like whatever route he wants, right? And then
Uh,
which just shows like he just looks for him. The fact that you can just do whatever route means like your quarterback is just like
I mean,
looking
it's
for
like the
you.
biggest. He's like the biggest guy, and like it's not that hard to see him, right?
yeah.
And every time the camera pans over to him, like I always see him like wide open in the middle of the field with like
Yes.
no defenders nearby. It's like crazy.
I don't get it, dude.
I
don't
don't
get
get
it.
it.
I don't get
like-
it either. Yeah.
All right, Jonathan, what else do you think? So
And
go ahead.
then Corey Davis, I think it's tough. Like David said, against New England, that's a tough matchup. I'd be surprised if he caught a touchdown, but I think 1 touchdown's his ceiling this week. He can't, like David said, he can't get 2. But I think a big difference is I think the defense. I think Chris has the best defense team of the week. Washington's good, and I saw that like Danny Dimes has had 40 turnovers in his last 25 games,
Yes,
which is
sir.
almost two a game, which is
I heard. I don't know if this
ridiculous.
is true, but last year he might have had more turnovers than touchdowns.
I
for
don't
sure.
yeah
I don't
for
doubt
sure,
that,
for
right?
sure.
I
Yeah.
don't doubt it.
Because if he's averaging like almost 2 a game, he's not throwing 2 touchdowns a game.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's barely under 2 a game. So all of that said, just to say, I'm gonna take Chris in this matchup.
All
Oh,
of that.
that's what I like to hear.
All
I'm
of
gonna take
that.
Chris. All of that just to say I'm gonna take Chris. But if I were Chris, I wouldn't feel good because you're relying on
no.
Shanahan to play
It's
play
close.
Mitchell. Yeah, it's close.
It's close. There's, obviously, I think we're both messing with our flex plays this week and stuff like that. So it's gonna be like a Sunday morning, like flipping coins or matchup looking, kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So it'll be
Mm.
close. I'm not saying we
Yeah.
have it's as the host, you're gonna take your own team no matter what, right?
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
definitely. All right. Well, I think that's all we have for today, right, guys?
Yeah, I'll
Yep.
post shop. I'll post the shop bets matchup of the week and anything else we can think of. But yeah, that's a good show, guys.
Yeah. All right. Anything you want to say to the rest of the league before we get out of here?
No.
All right. Good
That's
luck.
it. Just
Good
this,
luck,
just this
Chris.
noise. Yep.
Good
Many
luck.
of you haven't heard this noise before.
Shut up, dude.
All right. Good
All
luck
right.
week
Good
two,
luck.
guys.
Good luck, Jonathan. Good luck, Chris.
See ya.
See ya.
Later.